Hello, today I am making the video that I wish existed before I got my first fountain pen. I now have four, and I'm going to talk about how I chose them and ended up with them and how I like them. So I got into fountain pens because I was into the Tomoe River paper planners, for example, the Hobonichi, and a lot of people who like these planners love fountain pens because the paper is good for fountain pens. So it was kind of like one thing led to another. And because I loved the planners, I wanted to try the pens. And, you know, I love stationery in general. So basically, these are the four pens I have. I have two TWSBI Ecos in an extra fine and a medium nib, and then I have a TWSBI Diamond with the italic nib, and then this is a Pilot Parallel 1.5 millimeter calligraphy pen. So in short, if I knew what I knew now, I basically would have probably only gotten these two, the TWSBI Extra Fine and the the TWSBI Diamond Italic. And part of the reason for that is I actually only wanted to have one fountain pen. I've kind of overdone it in the notebook planner space where I've bought so many different kinds to try them all, and I didn't want to do that with pens. I wanted it to really be like I had one and I valued it. So I have found that it is useful to have multiple pens because having the option for different types of nibs is useful. But if I could narrow it down to only two, or if I could kind of minimize the number of pens I had, I think I would be sufficiently happy with these two. So these two are less ideal, and I'll explain why. But yeah, I wanted one pen I want to talk about my requirements to kind of explain why I got here. So I wanted one pen that could kind of do it all, or a minimum number of pens, not like a huge collection. So I really wanted it to be versatile for different needs. Another thing I really wanted was pens that you could fill, not pens that use cartridges. So some pens use kind of pre-made cartridges where you buy a cylindrical cartridge which you insert and then write with. I liked the idea of these different bottled inks you can buy, so I wanted to be able to just fill them with bottled ink and not have to buy cartridges. Cartridges can also be specific to like the type of pen and the shape, and I didn't want to have to accommodate that. I wanted to be able to use ink, or any ink in any pen. This, by the way, is the carbon ink. Who makes it? Is it the company Platinum? Anyway, this is a really cool ink because it's very like crisp. It doesn't kind of like spread on the paper, and it's actually waterproof. So you can draw and then watercolor, and the watercolor won't smudge the ink at all. So that's cool. It's very cool if you do any kind of watercolor. All right, so the other kind of requirement I had was I like writing in a calligraphy style. I did actually used to have a calligraphy pen by Manuscript, but I ended up getting rid of it because it was very leaky and I'd always just have ink stains everywhere. But when I got the fountain pen, I was really looking for that calligraphy experience. So what happened was I first got these two first, the two TWSBI Ecos, which are not calligraphy nibs. But when I was looking to start with my first fountain pen, I did some research, asked some questions in some forums, and people really recommended the TWSBI Eco as a starter pen. It's expensive for a pen, but inexpensive for a fountain pen. So they're like $30 or so, which is a lot for a pen, but for a fountain pen is quite reasonable. I got this one first with the medium nib because based on what I saw, I thought a medium nib would serve my needs. Part of that is because I read that a medium nib has kind of an ease of writing because the nib is a little bit wider, the ink flows easily, which is true. but that actually ended up really not working for me when it came to my Hobonichi weeks. So here I have all the pens, and this one, well, this one is the medium nib, which I just found too wide for my planner where I like to write really small and have lots of details. So this was the medium, and because it was too wide for my planner, I ended up getting the extra fine. And so that's this one. And then I can show you an example of a spread where I'm using the extra fine. So this works really well for the way I like to write in this planner, where this is a little bit too wide. But again, the ink does flow a little more freely in the medium. So if you're just looking to write on ruled paper or write a lot and you're not trying to write super small, then, and especially if you're writing a lot and you know your hand cramping and things can be an issue, this might be a more comfortable writing experience. But I definitely recommend this if you like to make cute, detailed spreads. So that was these two. Just quick comment about the colors. I really like this just clear color. This color, the blue with the rose gold, looked really pretty online, but I actually don't really like it in person. I was kind of disappointed when I opened it. Like when I opened it, I was just like, oh, this isn't nearly as pretty as this. And I had wished that I had just ordered this color again, the clear one. So yeah, this is made of plastic, and just, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but in person, it just, something about the plastic. I don't know if it's the color I chose or the combination of the rose gold and blue, but it just doesn't look that nice. Like it looks kind of cheap, honestly, to me. Also my daughter, she's 1 year old. I had this in here and she pulled it and pulled this like open. I'm really hoping I can figure out a way to fix it, because now it just looks really junky. She also bit it. So lesson learned, I really need to keep my pens safe from my daughter, and she's like a pen detective. She'll like find it in my purse, even when I think it's buried in there. So I've got to be very careful because I don't want any more pen damage from her. But yeah, I just really prefer the clear. The other thing is I actually switched the nibs. So I got this in the medium and this in the extra fine, but then I actually recently switched the nibs because I realized I could do that. So now this is the extra fine and this is the medium, which I'm really happy with because I use the extra fine more. So I like that it's in the pen I like more. The TWSBI Eco is not really advertised as being able to switch nibs. And it's not, I guess it's not, it doesn't have the same like components as the Diamond, which is designed to switch nibs, but you actually can. It's pretty easy. You can just basically pull this out, the nib and the feeder out, and replace it. So you can, although I do see some caution against it because it's not exactly designed to do it, but I had no problem switching the nibs, and I'm no like fountain pen expert. So you can switch nibs if you want. So yeah, that's those two. And then onto the calligraphy pens. So when I was looking at calligraphy, I saw a lot of good recommendations for the Pilot Parallel as a low price option for a nice calligraphy pen. This was honestly not what I was looking for, unfortunately. One advantage of this is it comes with cartridges, and Pilot makes special ink for it, but you can also buy a converter, which is like a little piece where you can fill it with your own ink and put that in place of a cartridge. So I did buy a converter with it, so I have the option of refilling it with my own ink. But as you can see, this is the Pilot Parallel pen, especially on this paper. It's like feathering everywhere, so it looks really bad. On some other paper, it's better, but it's definitely just wider than I was wanting. So I think, I do think I'll use it, like maybe if I'm writing a card or doing something like that, I'll use it for special purposes like that. But as far as like more common everyday writing, I don't think I'm going to use it that much. So I do kind of regret it. It wasn't very expensive, but that's not the point. I don't want to collect things that I don't treasure. So I do regret this. And yeah, again, this is the smallest nib they make. They also make larger sizes. So I think these are really more for like, again, you're writing cards or kind of just like doing big lettering, not for kind of writing. So yeah, some regret there. But then I ended up getting a TWSBI Diamond, which is the more expensive version of the TWSBI. I'll just show you while I have this open. This is the writing. So this is the italic nib. So it's a wider nib and does give you more of that italic calligraphy style. Down here, this is the italic nib versus the extra fine nib. So it's not quite as calligraphy style as or like a calligraphy pen, but it's more that style. So I do like my handwriting in this. I am considering maybe I'll eventually get a custom grind where you can get someone to basically grind your nib to give it more of the handwriting you're looking for. So I might do that in the future, but for now I'm just enjoying it. The TWSBI Diamond, it's really nice. This is a limited edition color. I think it's called like Rainbow Lilac. So it's kind of like pink and purple and has even like some blues and greens on the nib. Can you see that? Yeah, it's really beautiful. I really love the color. And another difference with the Diamond is it does have metal. So like the main components or pieces are all metal, where the TWSBI, they're plastic. So this feels like significantly heavier. Like you can really feel a difference between the two pens. And now when I hold them side by side, like the Diamond just seems so much nicer. Like, I don't know, maybe my standards are just increasing. I used to think this was really pretty, but now I'm like, oh yeah, this is really pretty. And I actually wish I had just bought the Diamond from the beginning. So I wish, what I actually wish was that I had a Diamond extra fine and a Diamond italic. Like I wish that were my collection. Just cause yeah, I could definitely feel the difference in quality. This, you can take apart more. You can take apart the components more, clean them more, change the nibs out more. There's more you can do with this. And because from my experience, I know I'm going to be using these fountain pens all the time for many years. Like I think the price difference would have been worth it. This one was around $100 for the special edition color. I think non-special editions can be like about $20 less than that. So it's definitely not cheap, but I think for something you intend to use forever, it's very worth it. And so I know that if it's your first fountain pen, maybe you don't know if you're going to use it, but if you already love stationery and you already love like Tomoe Rivet paper, you're probably going to love your fountain pen. And if I could go back, I would just invest in the Diamond to start out instead of the Eco. So I had made some notes on everything I wanted to mention. Also, yeah, my 3 pens, other than the Pilot, are all TWSBI. How I chose the brand TWSBI, again, just based on kind of recommendations I read online. There's a few different companies that have beginner level pens. I know Lamy is one, Pilot is one. Just based on what I researched, people had a lot of good things to say about TWSBI, and I kind of agree. I think I'm now like loyal to the TWSBI brand. So that's my experience, but I obviously can't speak too much because I haven't tried the other brands other than this one. So not the Pilot Parallel, don't get that. But yeah, to me, TWSBI's been a great brand. They come with like, in the box, they come in nice boxes with like little wrenches and things to help you service your pens. So they really have an emphasis on kind of loving and caring for your pens, which I really like. And is that everything I wanted to cover? Yeah, I think that is it. So hopefully that was helpful to you if you're new to the world of pens and trying to figure out what you want. I'd love to hear if you have any thoughts, if it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck on your pen journey.